Hey guys, irashaimase. This is my little vlog, my little hype train, hoot toot. And today I'm excited to share with you something that just came in the mail today. The TT Artisan manual lens. This little puppy just came in the mail. 25mm f2 little manual lens. This is 65 bucks on Amazon. Now, 65 bucks is pretty damn cheap. Now it's manual, which means you don't get to do the fun little autofocus eyeball stuff. It's just you using the little focus wheel and you got to figure it out. I shoot a lot of film, 35mm, so I have some old vintage, like that one up there, the Canon. I have two Minoltas I use, a rangefinder and then just a normal SLR. And I love shooting film. I really have a fun time using the manual focus. And so while I'm shooting this video on the kit lens, which is that 18 to 80mm kit lens on the Fujifilm XH2, I thought it'd be fun to get some prime lenses. Well, you can get the Fujifilm prime 27mm, but it's 400 bucks. So I could get that for $400, or I could get this little bad boy. And this little bad boy is the 25mm TT Artisan manual lens. Okay, and the size of this is about the same as the 50mm Minolta lens I have here. Okay, this is an old vintage Minolta. I've got another Minolta little vintage 35mm, which is actually a little bigger. And then I've got this Canon one, and then we have the adapter, right? So if you put the adapter to the vintage, then it gets a little more bigger, bulkier. And so then now this is a lot bigger than this guy. So I'm excited to try this out. Let me just say one thing. I don't like the cap. It's a gut screw. It's only threaded maybe 2 times around, so you don't have to spin it too much, but it is threaded. I do like this nice and thin like that, but that's kind of a hassle to worry about that. Might be better just, it'd be nice to kind of a cap, just like a little pop cap off. So that's a little bit of a pain, but it's not a deal breaker. One of the reasons, 2 reasons why I want this. One is I wanted a nice street photography lens that is small profile, light, that I can shoot. The other one was I wanted something that would be cheap. And there you go. So let's make a note here. The focus feels good. There's not a lot of travel I don't see on this. One thing I will note, it's in meters, not in feet, which means generally I think in feet. So I have to kind of do a little calculation on that in my mind. So that's a little bit of a hassle. The aperture ring feels good. It is on the outer part, which is fine. Some people were complaining about that. I don't care if the aperture is on the inner part or the outer part. That don't make no difference to me. The aperture does click though. Clearly marked, so I like the clicking element to it. It looks cool. How many blades does this little biscuit have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 bladed. It looks like it has a nice, yeah. F2, it's not super, fast, but that should be totally fine. I wonder if there's any bokeh. We'll find out. Probably more than this thing, because this kit lens is the widest it is f4. So this will be better. But yeah, I'm curious about the focusing, how sharp it is. We're gonna make the assumption at $65, it's not gonna be that sharp. It'll be okay. It'll be probably comparable to these vintage lenses. It might even be better than the vintage lens. I would hazard a guess that it probably is. But I mean, it's $65 damn, right? You can't go wrong. So let's just turn the camera over. Let's go shoot some film and let's give you my thoughts about it. and then we'll do a wrap up. Oh, people have been asking me about what's behind me. So this is DaVinci Resolve. It's a software program for film editing, and I am working on a film. In fact, if you see right here, these are acts, these are scenes in the film I am directing, filmed, done, and now editing. So if you want to learn more about this documentary I'm working on and some of the other projects, both in comics and in film that I'm doing, go check out the Patreon in the description below and take a look at that. So there you go. That's your commercial. Let's go put this on this camera and take a look. See you in a bit. Hey everybody, we're back after shooting some photos. Today I went ahead and I'm going to upload them in a second and show you in a moment. But let me give you my thoughts about this lens. So as you can notice by the quality of the video, we've switched cameras. I'm now shooting here on the iPhone 13 so that you can see the camera. So this is the camera and this is the little lens here. And let me tell you right now, I really am enjoying shooting with the size. It is so nice. It's actually, I wasn't really it's not a big deal, the weight, but you know, what I'm using mainly is the kit lens, which I know is not 40 megapixel worthy. This kit lens is the 16 to 80, okay? And when I put it on here, you know, it's pretty hefty, it's pretty big, you know, and when I zoom it out, it's pretty, you know, it's kind of obnoxious a little bit. Definitely not, excuse me, the best for street photography perhaps, but it's what I got. So I've been using these really fun vintage lenses because I have a Minolta. So I've been using this little, this is my go-to. This is a little 50 millimeter. What is this? f1.4, which is pretty fast. We have also this Canon, what is this, 28 millimeter Canon, 50 millimeter, about the same. Minolta. This Canon one's pretty cheap. It's not that good. This one's nice. And then I have this one, which is a Minolta 40. What is this? 35 millimeter. So I have a couple of these little like vintage ones. Now the issue with the vintage ones, of course, is you put the adapter on it, right? So you have your vintage lens, which is not super sharp, right? It's manual, it's not super sharp, but that's just the way it is. But now you hook up your adapter and, you know, it's not, it's a little bit bulkier. I mean, the adapter adds, you know, an inch or so more. So it's got a little bit more meat on it now. But this little guy here that I bought is really fun. The fact that it is so thin really makes this a fun camera to use. I didn't think it was gonna like make it more pleasurable so much, but it really is nice. So I do like the size of it, and snaps in nice. The focus is this. Okay, this kind of sucks. The cap. This lens cap does kind of suck. It'd be nice to pop out. The screwy, you know, it is what it is. That's my only negative, honestly. That's the only negative. Focus ring is nice. Smooth, buttery smooth. The aperture ring is clicky. I hear a click. I feel the click. But it's on the outer part. That doesn't bother me either. Some people were like, oh, it's on the outer, not the inner. I don't give a rat's. I can handle it. I'm not changing the aperture that much. I'll change it sometimes, but I'm not sitting here like aperture, you know, constantly. Some thoughts about shooting on this. Again, 25 millimeters, so it's wide angle. One issue is, excuse me, I'm still getting over this damn cold. there's not much travel here. Because it's a prime lens, because this is, you know, a wide angle lens, there's not much movement. There's not much travel here. When you're talking about going from 3 meters to 1.5 meters difference in focus, it's like barely anything. And then 1 is like barely anything. And then it actually goes pretty good in macro. There's a lot of travel between 1 foot and 1.5 feet. But when you're going out there distances between 3 and 9 feet, it is like no travel at all. So, and I did notice the focus, you got to be right on that focus. So a couple things to note. The focus is softer than, I would say, even the kit lens. This is probably sharper. This at 25 versus this at 25, this will probably be sharper. And if you use manual, you can like dial it in perfectly. And actually there's some cool features where you can even, it'll like highlight red where it's not perfectly sharp, which is kind of nice, or highlight red where it is like in focus. You don't have that here. So if you're doing street photography and you're kind of just like shooting from the hip, just kind of like gauging your range, you know, and just kind of like focusing by range, then some of your shots aren't going to make it, right? That doesn't bother me. I'm not killed by that. I'm not like, oh, it's freaking end of the world. Because part of, for me, of the fun of shooting street photography on the hip is the whole reason why sometimes I like to shoot in film. It's like, hey man, sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't, and that's kind of fun. And there's a little bit of like danger, so to speak. Like you don't always get it, and that's the way that is. So it's a little soft. It's a little hard to get in there just right to get that focus right on the right element. For instance, I took a shot of my daughter. She was probably 2 feet away, maybe 3 feet, and I got her hair in focus, but not her face. And so her hair's here, her face is here. There's probably like a 3-inch, 4-inch distance difference, and it was not in focus. Now, I just realized I probably had the aperture set at like 2 or 2.8. If I was set it at 16 or 8, maybe that would have been fine. But if you are trying to get portraits or try to get on a really wide open aperture, you're going to have to really be careful on that focus to get the right spot focused. Otherwise, it's not going to be in focus. So that's something to think about. So with these kind of lenses, it's not very forgiving on the focus. You know, again, closed down, f16, f11, yeah, you'll get a bigger depth of field. You'll be able to get more things in focus. That'll probably help you out. But so that's something to think about. And it's not quite as sharp. I think it was sharp enough for me. I don't pixel peep. I don't blow things up to 20 by 30. If it's, 10 by, if it's whatever, 14 by 11 or whatever, I'm fine with that size. I don't, especially with this kind of lens. But here's the thing, guys. It's $60 damn dollars. This for $60 versus $400. And I get to manually do it, which is kind of fun. A little bit more like, I feel like I'm more part of it. Instead of just going, instead of doing that, and I'm like sitting here and I'm like kind of like crafting it more. I'm feeling I'm more in tune with it. Hey man, no freaking brainer. So, I'm not returning it. I'm very excited about it. And I would say this is possibly a little step up from the vintage ones. Although you can get these even cheaper than $60. So vintages are fun. With the adapter, adds a little extra weight, a little more size to it. But really happy about this. Super fun lens. I am super stoked. Now I'm going to get another one, a 50 millimeter one. So I'll give you a review on that one next. So thanks for watching. Check out all my videos. Again, if you want to check out the film I'm working on, Go check out my Patreon. Oh, and I did not shoot on film yet, but I want to do that. So I'm going to shoot some film as well to kind of get a look at how video works on these manual lenses, because that I think might be kind of fun too. So thanks for watching. Bye, guys.